All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to True Crime Loser. I hope you're doing well. So, folks, today we're going to talk about Jussie Smollett and Sarah Boone. In the past week, Jussie did the first interview that he's done. He did it on Sway's Universe on satellite radio. Jussie got Sway on Empire 3 times, so Sway feels loyal to Jussie. Jussie was saying he's only going to do media, or he's only going to go where the love is. And as you can imagine, it's not in very many places at this point for old Jussie. He said things in the interview like, but this doesn't have anything to do with what y'all are saying that I did do that I didn't do. Of course, how could we have missed it, Jussie? Another story that really stuck out to me is he talks about losing his house. We all knew that he flushed his life and career and name and existence down the toilet, but it really hits home when he's talking about this dream house that he bought when he was killing it on Empire. A dream house, dream location, moved his elderly mom in, and you gotta think the most avoidable reason ever. It's one thing to lose your house, take down your life for reasons that you just didn't have any control of. But to sit on your lawn as movers are moving all of your stuff out of your dream house for the most avoidable reason ever is really something. And I'm looking at this interview from the angle of these people that have the narcissistic victim traits, personality syndrome, whatever they're calling it these days. That is no joke of a diagnosis. They go big and they get themselves into situations that are just mind-boggling. Think of Jussie sitting there, adjusting his noose, waiting for the police to come. That's a wild moment in human history. Or another one, Sherry Papini, who definitely has it too. Picturing her standing on the highway in the early morning, waiting for a car to come by to turn on a big show and act pathetic to try to get the car to pull over. Pathetic, please! And then, zoom, the car goes by. She has to snap out of it like, all right, no worries. Just someone will stop. Just gotta be patient. Okay, here we go. Here's some more headlights. Ready? All right, turn it on. Pathetic, please. And, I mean, think about an adult ending up in a lot of those positions. Jussie does it in this interview too, but way back in the interview that he did in 2019, which he said he had never watched it back until the trial, and he said he was mortified and cringing. And he said that everything he said in it was true, but that interview wasn't for him. It was for his character, of course. And he uses really heavy words which is very manipulative, to silence a room. So say he's telling his story, which doesn't make sense, right? And he's telling it, and I'll go back to the one that he did in 2019 when he's doing the big interview on ABC, and what's her name, Robin Roberts, is asking him questions about, like, were they wearing a MAGA hat or something like that, and Jussie's saying, I never said that. I didn't need some racist cherry on top of the sundae. They called me the N-word. They called me the N-word. And he's screaming it. And what he's using, that really heavy word that, has hurt a lot of people, has a lot behind it. He is then using his manipulative personality to say, okay, you're pushing me back into the corner. R. Kelly did it too in his wild interview. You're pushing me back in the corner. Well, I'm going to use this word that after he's screaming it, they called me the N-word. It's like, all right, well, I guess we'll just change subjects. Imagine the sound guy sitting there as he's screaming that, just like, sorry. But he does that again in this interview. He knows the heavy words that, all right, you're pushing me back into a wall, that my story's nonsense. Well, let me scream this word that everyone in the room's going to, all right, Jussie, Jesus, just calm down, all right, would you? I mean, I get to the point, I think that Jussie is so screwed up mentally with how he thinks that he's perceived and all this stuff. If he's not careful and if he doesn't get himself therapy, which he says he's in, I think Jussie could end up on a park bench wearing an ill-fitting suit that has pigeon poop all over it, and he's got a scruffy beard, and he's just sitting there going, they called me the N-word. they called me the N-word. And his friends are like, come on, Jussie, why don't you snap out of it? I don't think anyone did, my friend. But, yeah, hearing the story of him losing his house as it really sets in, because he was killing it for those years on Empire. So he buys his dream house, dream location, moves his elderly mom into the house, gets his elderly mom situated. That's got to feel good. I think at that point, he was probably some security for the whole family. All right, Jussie's doing good. He's got this show where they're kind of a family unit. And then because of his actions and the narcissistic victim thing that he has, all of a sudden they're rubbing his back on the lawn going, it's all right, Jussie. They're moving the elderly mom that's got all situated in her own wing of the house somewhere else. I mean, imagine some of the things that he had to go through. He had a friend come over to his house because she got a divorce. So he said, until you get back on your feet, come over, stay with me. And so it had all these memories, and then she came back over when it was an empty house, and the last night they slept on the floor, and it just, I don't know why that one. I think because I want to buy a house so bad. That's like what we've been trying to do and coming up short year after year. But I think that one really, or even though if we rent this place, if all of a sudden we were moving out of this place because I just blew it unimaginably bad, that one really, he had a friend too, Jussie. Now he takes on the attitude of like, maybe it's good that it happened. Everything happens for a reason. He goes, one of my friends said that what all of this did was you were able to cut your grass and see the snakes that were in it, meaning that he really learned who his true friends were during this whole thing. But I was thinking, yeah, but he also then couldn't afford the grass and had to sell the grass and move somewhere else with a lot smaller patch of grass. So I still am not seeing the whole light, like maybe this whole thing was actually great. And then he also, so picture Jussie, he's on there, he's with his friends, he's very comfortable, he's running PR. All the stories that he's telling, every angle that he's going with is to make him look great. But people that have the narcissistic victim brain, they don't even know what they don't know. So Jussie is telling a story thinking, yeah, that just sounds great and normal and yeah, it just makes me look cool. And I'm sitting there slapping my forehead going, Jussie, that proved you're a nightmare. And what I'm talking about is, Sway asked him a question, something like, how did you deal with all the negativity online? You know, everybody hates you and everybody is posting the truth about what you did, and it just makes you look horrible. Like a question similar to that. And Jussie says, and he will never ask himself why he did the stuff in this story, when he did it and why he did it. That to him it's just lizard eyes. It just happened totally because the stars said it was or something. But what he's talking about is, he goes, Sway's asking him, how did you deal with all that negativity? Everybody hates you. And he goes, I have a really beautiful family, and they really insulate me, and they took my phone, and I stayed offline. And he had a very normal answer that you would expect. And then he drops in a little chunk of, a little detail that I'm like, damn. And he doesn't know why that would make him such a terrible person. But he goes, I didn't do it, or I stayed completely insulated from it. And then like a year after it happened, at my sister's birthday, I Googled myself for the first time, and it was the worst idea ever. And he kind of turns on the charisma and goes, worst idea ever. And everybody laughs like, damn, I bet that was rough. And they boom, move on. And he doesn't even realize. So let me set this up for you. Picture you're Jussie Smollett's poor sister. For the last year of your life, the only thing your family, everything has been Jussie's stupid hate crime scandal. Maybe you believe him. Maybe they don't necessarily believe him, but they're just like, you know what, Jussie, we're with you no matter what. Their name now means faking a hate crime. All of the other brothers and sisters who are also in show business, you're thinking, is this going to ruin my career too? Now the name Jussie Smollett carries a lot of weight. You're going into an interview like, I'm the sister. And So his sister's probably thinking, you know what, this whole year has been so rough. We had to move, Jussie had to move out of his house. We had to move the mom. What a nightmare, constant stress. But hey, today's my birthday. I just want to get dressed up and not think about it and get some good food and hang out with some friends. And let's just have a night where we put everything, all the stress behind us. Jussie was making the money, I think, for the family a little bit or a lot of it. And let's just forget about that nonsense tonight, and I want to just have a good birthday. And then she gets to her birthday, wherever it is, maybe a restaurant or something. She's got her nice outfit on. It's feeling more like a normal night instead of the past year where Jussie just ruined our family. She's talking to her friends, having a good time, and then all of a sudden one of her family members makes eyes at her, and she sees them walking quickly, like something's going on. That's a little bit interesting. So maybe already her attention, having fun, everyone at her birthday is now a little bit that way. And then she sees another family member acting a little strange. I wonder what is going on. And then someone finally comes up and whispers in her ear, hey, Jussie Googled himself for the first time tonight. He's a total wreck, but you stay here. You keep enjoying your birthday. We're going to go up. And then all of a sudden, the half circle that was around the sister trying to have just a normal birthday night, trying to put the whole nightmare year behind him, and all of a sudden Jussie had to recenter the whole thing. I Googled myself for the first time. And like I said, he'll never ask himself, why'd you do it that night? It's your sister's birthday. You could have, but to him, the way he told the story is, yeah, I just, I don't know, just totally random, checked it out on the night of my sister's birthday, worst idea ever. And then another real manipulative thing that I was watching him do in the interview. So the people that have stayed with him, he says, like a lot of them, like one of them he brought on the show. She's in some movie that he directed that he's promoting. So she was there. And then another woman that was on in the movie that is actually the co-host of Sway's Universe, that radio show he's on. But he's talking to the co-host, who's an older woman, and he's sitting there going, not only are you a great person, but you're also a very, very good artist. But I need you to step into that. I need you to have the confidence. And this lady is going, okay, yeah. And I'm sitting there going, why are you talking to this lady with some enlightened tone? Like you got something figured out, Jussie. And it really shows you the people that did stay on his side, he takes this like energy and power over them. Like, I need you to step into that for me. And she's going, oh, okay, yeah. And he's acting like some sort of emotionally balanced monk. Like, yes, this, it's like you got nothing to say to no one about actions or behavior or mental state or nothing. And so to have that confidence over this woman telling her what he needs her to do is it just comes off in a way I don't think that he thinks it does. And also just projection is a hell of a thing. Let me read you. This is the sentence that he said, or the paragraph that he said in his head, proving why there's no way that he could have done it. So he says, quote, I think what you have to realize is that for someone like me that's represented his entire life, represented social justice, represented equity and equality, and all of these type of things, and we're fighters, and we fight with love, it would be like finding out that someone's the exact opposite of who they claim to be. He said that. I mean, projection really is a strange thing. And then he goes, so he says, it would be like finding out someone's the exact opposite of who they claim to be. And then he goes, and so, if I had done this, and he pauses and he goes, I'd be a piece of shit. And I don't think that's really questionable. I mean, think about that. He really goes, if I did do this, I'd be a piece of shit. And the interviewer's like, yes, yeah. And I mean, that again, the people that have whatever he has, whatever Sherry Papini has, whatever Amber Heard, I think she's got a little dialed down version, but whatever they have, they end up in truly wild situations. Let me see if I got anything else on this. Oh, yeah. So the last thing, then Jussie trended on Twitter a couple days after this, just a few days ago, because he did his first red carpet, and he's up there and he's trying to smile, but he has a wince smile. You can't hide the wince smile. Once your smile goes wince, there's no faking it. So he's up there on the red carpet, and he had a gold Africa pendant, and a lot of people like zoomed in or took a screenshot of that and going, leave us alone, Jussie. The last two African guys that you came in contact with, you're trying to send them to jail for assaulting you when you planned the whole thing. So it's a little bit ironic to then bust out your first wince smile red carpet with a big giant gold Africa pendant. Just feels a little strange. But so where are we at with Jussie? He got 5 months in jail. They said he'd have 2.5 months if with good behavior. He was in there 6 days. Also in their interview, he loved jail. He said that he never had felt clearer and more sober. They treated him amazingly. He said he thanked all of them as he was leaving for treating him respectfully. And again, nowhere in the interview did he say, yeah, you know, in my sentencing when I loudly was screaming, I am not suicidal over and over again, like some kook, because I thought the jail staff was going to, like, Epstein not kill me type of thing. Yeah, that turned out to be a little bit overblown. I didn't need to yell that because everyone was very respectful to me. So he was saying that the 6 days in jail, he felt centered and all this stuff. And that does kind of make sense to me. If you're living a lie at the level that Jussie has been living for years and it's totally blown up and no one respects you, finally facing the music, even though he thinks that he's being flushed away and from corruption and it's everything's being done to him, he probably did have a sense of peace for the first time in a couple years, just facing the music. No one could really say anything to him. He's in there, he's taking responsibility, not willingly, but he is, and then he's out 6 days later. I guess it's up for appeal. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I would say wouldn't think that they're going to overturn it, but then, I don't know. We'll see. I think that's all I have on that. All right, so let's talk about Sarah Boone. Her murder trial for zipping her boyfriend up in the suitcase, George, was supposed to start last month, and it got postponed till next month. The last date I heard was July 25th, so late last month. Also, in about the past week, the YouTuber Mentor Lawyer posted a bunch of new body cam interview interrogation type footage for that. One from Sarah, one from Sarah's ex-husband, one from a neighbor or a landlord. I don't know, a couple of them. I assume they're probably going to be part of the evidence once the trial does start. But that Sarah Boone's interrogation really is the best interrogation that's been uploaded to YouTube in a while. It's just the cycle of the whole thing, her story. We were just going to play, and it was silly, and we were enjoying each other's company, and then we decided, let's play hide and go seek in a tiny apartment. That's what we like to do. We like to outdo each other for hiding spots because it's silly. And anywho, get in the suitcase, George. But so some of the new information that came out from just these new ones. Well, first, before I talk about that, I was thinking, what is that trial going to be? Because of the video. Like, if I was the prosecution for this case, I think my opening statement would go, good morning. Sarah Boone, right here, filmed herself brutally torturing and murdering her boyfriend, George. And then she gave the video to the police. And now here we are. Thank you. So I'm not sure who they're going to call for what their strategy is going to be for her defense because of the old video, which is, again, why it just puts that interrogation above the rest, because she's telling her stupid, unbelievable story, and the fact that they can blow the whole thing up with the video. Oh God. And she didn't know that they were going to be able to pull it up. And then just like for a made-for-TV movie, right when they're about to show her the video that's going to change her entire life, it shuts off out of batteries and the tension builds while they're plugging it back in. And then she gets into that just hilarious cycle where they show her the video and she tries. I've never seen anyone in an interrogation try out stories and material in their homicide interrogation the way an open mic comedian tests out material. She'll go with these big stories. You don't think I knew that you were going to have the video? And then stop, realize she's not even close to being capable of pulling that lie off in any way, and then she'll just stop mid-lie, mid-story, and try another one, and then inevitably the cycle gets back to her just going, so, whoa. Let me get this straight. So what you're saying is, what you guys think is that I just zipperty-doo-dah-day George up in the suitcase, and then with my legs went up the stairs, and then went to bed and went night-night. That's what you guys think? And the interrogators just go, yes, that's exactly what we think. And that's also exactly what happened. And she's just left going, not intentional. But yeah, as far as I can tell, I think that it's going to be one of those trials that they show, like the whole thing. So maybe that will be interesting. Let me just see if there's anything. Her husband, the new information that came out from a lot of the new interviews, the body cam interviews that came out, is she called her ex-husband that night at 11:44. George was definitely in the suitcase at 11:12 because it's time-stamped on her video. So that could be proof, or at least evidence pointing that George died that night and she knew about it and it was just hammered drunk, tried to call her ex-husband that night. He said he was sleeping, picked up the phone. He was very used and tired of Sarah calling, just wasted and mumbling. So he gets woken up by a phone call at 11:44. He said she just sounds hammered. It's terrifying. Just filming a snuff film, hammered, calling your ex-husband, hey, what should I do? So she calls the ex-husband. The phone call lasts 2 minutes. They grill the ex-husband like, did you hear someone calling out in the background? And he's very much, nah, I was woken up by her, and the whole thing. And so that call, I think, is going to come up big in the trial because she's saying, I don't know, we were hiding and then I just went to bed. I forgot to go look for him. But that phone call now, something happened, and where she thought, oh God, I should probably call the ex-husband. And then another funny part in the interview that they did with Sarah that day, right when they got there, so before they had her video and they could really just know what happened and pressure her, she's telling the stupid hide-and-go-seek story. And so they go, why did you zip him up in the suitcase? And she goes, well, I went up and hid in the shower, and then after a while, I was tired of hanging out in the freaking shower, so I came down, and I was like, you didn't come look for me in the shower, so get in the suitcase. And obviously they're like, that's what happened, and she kind of backs off of it, but what a wild story old Sarah got herself in, and with the whole video, and I mean, that one really is something else. She asked for his wedding ring off his cold, dead finger at the end of the interrogation. I'll probably never forget that. But anyway, I'm going to cut it off there, folks. I love you all. See you next week. Why? Starving why? Shamita.